Harmony Creek was a town where nothing ever happened. Nestled in a picturesque valley, it was a place where time seemed to stand still. The streets were lined with charming old houses, each with its own story to tell, and the air was always filled with the scent of blooming flowers. It was a place of quiet streets and friendly neighbours. People knew each other by name, and the sense of community was strong. Children played freely on the streets, their laughter echoing through the air, while adults chatted on porches, sharing stories and dreams. But that was before the Blackwood Mansion became a legend. The mansion, with its towering spires and darkened windows, stood as a stark contrast to the otherwise serene town. It was said to be haunted, a place where the past refused to rest. The house stood on a hill overlooking the town, its presence both commanding and foreboding. From its vantage point, it seemed to watch over Harmony Creek, a silent sentinel of secrets long buried. It was a sprawling Victorian mansion, with dark windows and a rusting wrought-iron fence. The once grand structure had fallen into disrepair, its former glory now hidden beneath layers of neglect and decay. Locals whispered stories about the family who lived there years ago. Tales of opulence and tragedy, of love and loss were passed down through generations. The mansion was a place of mystery where the line between fact and fiction blurred. They spoke of strange disappearances and unexplained tragedies. The Blackwood family, once the town's pride, had become the subject of dark rumours. Some said they dabbled in the occult, while others believed they were cursed. No one dared to go near the house now. The path leading to it was overgrown with weeds, and warning signs were posted to keep trespassers away. It was as if the mansion itself wanted to be left alone, its secrets kept hidden from prying eyes. It stood empty, a looming presence that cast a shadow over the town. The mansion was a reminder of a past that refused to be forgotten, a place where the walls seemed to whisper the stories of those who once called it home. Harmony Creek, with its quiet streets and friendly neighbours, would never be the same again. Mark Jameson was a journalist known for his skepticism. He scoffed at anything he couldn't explain. Ghosts, he claimed, were nothing more than overactive imaginations and creaky floorboards. When he heard the rumours about the Blackwood Mansion, he saw an opportunity.
I decided to spend the night in the house. I wanted to prove that the stories were nothing but folklore. I would expose the truth, armed with my notepad, camera, and a healthy dose of disbelief.
The air grew heavy as Mark stepped inside the Blackwood Mansion. Dust covered everything. Cobwebs clung to the high ceilings.
I felt a chill run down my spine. I pushed the feeling aside, attributing it to the cold air. I set up my camera in the living room, its red light blinking in the gloom. The silence was oppressive. It was broken only by the ticking of my watch and the pounding of my own heart.
Hours crawled by. The house was eerily silent, the kind of silence that makes you feel like you're being watched. Shadows danced on the walls as the sun began to set, casting an even more ominous atmosphere over the decaying structure. Mark wandered through the empty rooms, finding nothing but dust and decay. Each room told a story of neglect and abandonment, with broken furniture and peeling wallpaper. The air was thick with the scent of mold and old wood. He started to think this investigation was a waste of time. Every corner he turned, every door he opened led to more disappointment. The clues he was hoping to find seemed to be buried under years of neglect.
Just as I was about to give up, I heard it, a sound so faint it was almost drowned out by the creaking of the old house. My heart skipped a beat as I strained to listen. A faint melody drifted from upstairs. It was almost surreal, like a whisper from the past. The tune was familiar yet distant, pulling me towards it like a moth to a flame. It was a haunting lullaby, played on a music box. The delicate notes seemed to float through the air, wrapping around me and drawing me in. The melody was both beautiful and eerie, sending chills down my spine. I slowly ascended the stairs, each step creaking under my weight. The sound of the music grew louder with each step, urging me to move faster, yet filling me with a sense of dread. The staircase seemed to stretch on forever, each creak echoing in the silence. I found the source of the music in a small, dusty nursery. The room was frozen in time, with old toys scattered on the floor and cobwebs hanging from the ceiling. It was as if the room had been waiting for someone to find it. The music box sat on a rocking chair, its tune both beautiful and eerie. The chair gently rocked back and forth, as if an invisible hand was guiding it. The sight was both mesmerizing and unsettling, making me question what other secrets this house held.
Section 5. The screams echoed through the empty rooms. The music box stopped abruptly. A moment later, Mark heard a blood-curdling scream. It seemed to come from the attic above. His heart raced. Mark grabbed his camera and cautiously climbed the attic stairs. The air grew colder as he reached the top. A thick layer of dust covered the floor, undisturbed for years. He saw strange symbols etched into the walls, their meaning unclear. The screaming started again, louder this time, echoing through the empty space. Section 6. Terror in the attic. Mark's flashlight beam danced across the attic. He searched for the source of the terrifying screams. Suddenly, something brushed past him. A cold breath whispered against his ear.
"Get out," it hissed.
Mark spun around, but there was nothing there. The attic seemed to close in on him. The shadows on the walls twisted and writhed, as if they were alive. Fear, cold and sharp, pierced through Mark's skepticism. He was no longer the confident journalist. He was a prey trapped in a nightmare. Section 7. A face in the darkness.
Something touched my shoulder.
Mark whirled around, his flashlight beam catching a fleeting glimpse of a figure. It was tall and gaunt, with eyes that seemed to burn with a hollow light. A scream escaped Mark's lips. He stumbled backward, tripping over a loose floorboard. He crashed to the ground, his flashlight rolling away. Darkness enveloped him. The screams continued, echoing around him, seeming to come from everywhere and nowhere at once. Section 8. Fleeing into the night. Mark scrambled to his feet, his heart pounding like a drum in his chest. He ran blindly, desperate to escape the terrifying presence in the attic. He raced down the stairs, his breath catching in his throat. The house seemed to mock him, each creaking step and groan fueling his terror.
I need to get out of here.
He burst out of the front door and into the night, not daring to look back. Section 9. The search for Mark. The next morning, the residents of Harmony Creek found Mark's car abandoned near the Blackwood Mansion gates. His camera, notepad and other equipment was still inside, but Mark was gone.
We searched the house and the surrounding woods, but found no trace of him.
Some whispered that the Blackwood Mansion had claimed another victim, dragging him into its darkness. Others dismissed it as a publicity stunt, a way for the skeptical journalist to drum up attention. Section 10. The house still stands. The Blackwood Mansion, a relic of a bygone era, looms ominously over the town of Harmony Creek. Its presence is a constant reminder of the mysteries and tragedies that have unfolded within its walls. Whatever the truth, Mark Jameson was never seen again. The journalist had ventured into the mansion, determined to uncover its secrets, but he vanished without a trace. His disappearance remains one of the town's most chilling, unsolved mysteries. The Blackwood Mansion still stands on the hill overlooking Harmony Creek. Its silhouette is a stark contrast against the night sky, a silent sentinel watching over the town below. The mansion's history is as dark as its appearance, filled with tales of ghostly apparitions and unexplained phenomena. Its windows are dark, its secrets hidden behind crumbling walls. The once grand structure is now a decaying monument to the past, with broken windows that seem to watch the world with a lifeless gaze. The walls, once filled with laughter and life, now echo with the silence of abandonment. The music box still plays its haunting lullaby, a chilling reminder of the journalist who dared to challenge the unknown. The eerie melody drifts through the empty halls, a ghostly serenade that sends shivers down the spine of anyone who hears it. It's as if the mansion itself is mourning the loss of those who have disappeared within its confines. And the residents of Harmony Creek still whisper about the night Mark Jameson disappeared. They speak in hushed tones, afraid that the mansion might somehow hear them. The story of his disappearance has become a cautionary tale, a warning to those who might be tempted to explore the mansion's dark corridors. They whisper about the shadows that move in the attic. These shadows, they say, are the restless spirits of those who have perished within the mansion's walls. The attic, once a place of storage and forgotten memories, is now a realm of darkness and fear, and the screams that echo through the empty rooms. These screams, faint and distant, are said to be the cries of the lost souls trapped within the mansion. The empty rooms, with their peeling wallpaper and rotting floorboards, are a testament to the passage of time and the horrors that have taken place. They whisper about the house that devours anyone brave enough or foolish enough to enter its doors. The mansion is a predator, lying in wait for its next victim. Those who enter rarely return, and those who do are never the same. The Blackwood Mansion is more than just a house. It is a living entity, feeding on the fear and despair of those who dare to challenge its dark legacy.